Hey, good evening. It is day number 28 of 90 days of Facebook Lives, and I'm Alan Thomas. You're watching this in a couple of different places, probably, but Transform My Future is my site and company, and it's where I operate Rethink Dieting for Men. And tonight, or this evening, it's almost night, I wanted to talk about something that I've thought about a lot. It's a subject for obese men. That they don't. You really don't want to think about it. And to give you guys a little context, if you've never watched any of my lives, I always tell my story. In 2017, I stepped on the scale at 304 pounds. I'm 5'11". I was 55 years old, and I realized that my time on Earth would be cut much shorter if I didn't do something about it. And 260 days later, I weighed in at 175 pounds. And I work with men predominantly. Angie works with some ladies, but we help them overcome the obesity. And tonight, really what I'm thinking about, it's a heavier topic, really. I mean, and I don't mean that as a joke, boy, that one didn't come out right, but it is a more serious topic. And really, when we think about obesity, we don't think about death a lot. We think about it's inconvenient, it's embarrassing. I don't want to get my picture taken because I'm fat. It's embarrassing going to the clothing store. I hate getting on an airplane and having to get two seat belts, or getting a first class seat when I should be able to just get a coach seat. Or I hate having people stare at me. I know people are looking at me. I'm afraid to do all these things. I mean, you can go down the list of on and on and on. But what if you walked in your doctor's office and the doctor said you've got 12 months to live? You've got some illness that is very, very serious. You got 12 months to live. There's no real cure, except there may be a chance if you could just do this one thing, you could live. And the doctor couldn't make a 100% guarantee, but he'd be pretty sure you'd extend your life. Well, I think that anybody who's ever had any kind of diagnosis, and thank God I never have, but any kind of diagnosis that is, of that magnitude, that we would do anything to get a cure. I know when my dad was diagnosed with a terminal brain tumor in 2011, I mean, he was basically, by the time we realized what he had, he was given, weeks to live. And there's so many of us that take this obesity topic so casually. We take it as though we can get around to it tomorrow. Last night I talked a lot about procrastination, but we can get around to it another time. There's one more birthday party to go to. There's one more dinner to eat. There's one more of whatever, and I'll get to it. I'll get around to it because it's just too hard. I've never been able to stick to anything, and on and on and on. And we create that. We have all these excuses and all these things. And I was this way. I mean, I 100% was this way. We have all of this information that in belief that we build on while we can never get the weight off. And a lot of it has to do with, I believe for me, for the longest time, it was just the seriousness of the consequences. And you can look up online. CDC says in 2019 in the U.S. alone, 300,000 people died from obesity-related deaths. 300,000. That's up there. I don't know what all the illnesses are. You could look that up, but I would say to you that obesity is a big deal. And think about this. If you had that chance at the doctor's office where you could turn it around and you could live, or at least have a much greater chance of living, wouldn't you do that? I mean, wouldn't you do that? Wouldn't you have a family member who's been diagnosed with an illness? I know when my dad was diagnosed with what he had, we'd give anything to figure out a way to cure him, but it was too late. There's people dying today that it's already too late for. There's people dying of obesity-related deaths right now that it's too late for. And like I said, this is a serious topic. This is more, I'm serious each night, but really think about this. It is a choice. Does the diet industry have it all right? No, of course not. $72 billion industry, and they still can't figure it out. Physicians, more than 20% of medical professionals, doctors are obese. And as we look at the epidemic that we've got going on, I wonder if we just rethought it, just rethought the whole process of getting healthy and getting fit. And you know, when I look at the reason I made the decision to lose weight, and the men that I work with are losing weight, it goes deeper than just the health. But let's face it, you can go down the list of everything that you want to do, and if you haven't got health, you have nothing. And I know that sounds a bit cliche, but it's the truth. So if you're paying any attention to any of these videos, ponder that thought of what would I do to save my own life? What would you do to save your own life? How seriously would you take it? Would you be willing to do what was necessary to get the weight off if it meant the difference of life and death? And I say it every night. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist, dietitian, or physical fitness expert. I'm just a guy who failed miserably, who figured out a way through the wilderness of obesity. And I do know the way out. And, you know, the men I work with, and it's intriguing that so many of them tell me they've never been able to lose weight, and all of a sudden they're losing weight. And they're, you know, and it wasn't this particular diet or that particular diet or that particular exercise plan. Did they have to change their eating? Heck yeah. Did they have to change their exercise? Heck yeah. I mean, you got to. That's just common sense. But was that really what's saving them? Now, I don't know what would have happened to me if I hadn't have lost 129 pounds. I have no idea. I might be dead today. But I think I was given the chance to, it woke me up. It was one of those moments where just the lights came on for me. When I saw that 304-pound reading on the scale, is I knew something had to change. And it was like I got that diagnosis of death, imminent death, if I didn't do something. So if you're blessed enough to not have an illness that is that life-threatening, and the only challenge you've got is an extra 150 pounds, the good news is there is a solution. There is a way out. And that's what I would say to you. I just would encourage you. It is not hopeless. It is not. Because I tell people all the time, I was the worst of the worst. I mean, I was the guy that went and had you know, a big meal and then stopped for a Big Mac on the way home, and the fries. And so it was really always about, you know, making a decision. It was never about the diet. So if you're watching this and this is resonating with you, if you've tried, feel like you've tried everything, like I felt like I tried everything, you know, go to www.transformmyfuture.com/apply. That is where go to my calendar. You'll be able to book an appointment with me. We have a breakthrough session. You know, men who come to that appointment, they're looking to, you know, join my program. Everybody's not right for my program. I tell people I don't have everybody's answer, but I do know a way through the wilderness of obesity. I've been there, and be encouraged. But take this stuff seriously. 300,000 people, that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people that maybe if they'd have made a different decision, they'd still be here. Maybe they would get to have their dream. Maybe they always wanted to do something that they never got to do, and the obesity held them back. It wasn't just the weight that held them back and the embarrassment, but the actual physical conditions that the obesity caused. But at the end of the day, they had a choice. And so, you know, I'm saying all this not to draw shame to you or anybody else that's listening, but to offer you hope that you can get through this. And if you want to have a conversation with me, go to that site, www.transformmyfuture.com/apply. It'll be in the comments below here, and schedule a call with me. There's a way out, and I'm a few steps ahead of you, but there's a way out, I promise you. So you guys have a great evening, and we will see you tomorrow night.